Did you know that it takes on average 287 days to detect and contain a breach? That's nearly a year before some companies even realize they've been compromised. Human errors are the cause of 93% of cyber attacks targeting small and medium sized businesses.
Those are some scary stats, Alyssa, and it tells us something really important. Most security breaches don't happen because of some ultra sophisticated hacking technique. They happen because businesses aren't responding to threats quickly enough.
Exactly. Cybercriminals know that SMBs won't have a robust internal security posture, and that is why they get targeted. But what if there was a way to respond automatically before an attack could spread?
That's where SOAR, security orchestration, automation, and response comes in. It's not just about detecting threats, it's about taking action instantly so threats don't turn into full blown breaches.
And today, we're diving into how SOAR helps SMBs defend themselves like an enterprise without overextending internal resources.
Welcome to Perimeter Perspective, the podcast that helps businesses navigate the ever changing world of cybersecurity so they can stay protected and thrive in the digital age.
I'm Alyssa Birchfield, joined by my co host Michael Moore. Together, we represent Next Perimeter, a cybersecurity and IT services firm dedicated to helping businesses simplify security, reduce risk, and stay ahead of evolving threats. All right, Michael, let's start with the basics here. SOAR is one of those cybersecurity terms that gets thrown around a lot, but let's talk about what it actually means.
Great question. SOAR is essentially an automated cybersecurity system that doesn't just detect threats, but also takes immediate action against them. SOAR is like an automatic fire sprinkler system for cybersecurity. Traditional security tools like SIEM act like smoke detectors. They alert you that there's a fire, but SOAR is a sprinkler system that instantly puts them out before it spreads. Think of it this way. While SIEM collects security alerts and logs, and an MXDR service monitors for threats, SOAR actually automates the response. Instead of an IT team manually investigating an alert, SOAR takes action in real time, blocking access, isolating infected devices, and escalating the threat only if human intervention is needed.
So instead of an IT team trying to decide what fire to put out first, SOAR automatically responds to real threats and neutralizes them then.
You got it. Let's say an attacker gains access to an employee's Microsoft 365 account using stolen credentials. A SIEM can detect the intrusion instantly. And an MXDR service with a fully staffed SOC might acknowledge the alert within 4 minutes. But even in that short time, the attacker could move laterally, steal sensitive data, or deploy malware before human intervention can stop them. With SOAR, there's no waiting for a response. The system reacts instantly. It automatically revokes access, isolates the compromised account, and blocks further malicious actions the moment the threat is detected, stopping the breach before it can escalate.
That is a huge time saver. And more importantly, it prevents a security incident from turning into a full blown breach.
Correct. And there's another layer to this. Attackers just don't rely on brute force techniques anymore. Many of them are using AI-driven automation to exploit vulnerabilities faster than ever. In fact, reports show that nearly 40% of cyber attacks now involve some form of automation. Leaving your IT team to battle machines with manual processes, it's just not sustainable. Security teams need to match automation with automation to have any chance of keeping up.
That is a powerful way to put it, because if hackers are using automation, then businesses need their own automated defenses just to stay ahead of them.
Absolutely. And let's not forget the attackers don't wait for business hours. They operate at night, on weekends, and during holidays, times when IT teams are stretched too thin or completely offline. A breach that starts on a Friday evening might go undetected until Monday morning, giving attackers a 48-hour head start. That's enough time for ransomware to spread, data to be stolen, or an entire system to be compromised.
That is terrifying. And that's exactly why businesses can't afford to have slow response times when it comes to security.
Right. And that's where SOAR closes the gap. Instead of waiting for security analysts to manually analyze logs, correlate events, and take action, SOAR detects, prioritizes, and mitigates threats within seconds.
So basically, SOAR, it's kind of like having an automated incident response team that's working around the clock, no matter what.
Yes, and the best part is SOAR can also enforce security policies automatically. For example, if a user repeatedly fails to log in from an unrecognized device, SOAR can lock the account, notify IT, and prompt the user for additional identity verification before allowing access.
That is smart. It's not just about stopping cyber attacks, it's about preventing unauthorized access and enforcing the security best practices automatically.
That's right. SOAR ensures that businesses stay protected without constantly relying on human intervention. It helps SMBs streamline security operations, reduce risk, and respond faster than any human could.
It's really clear that SOAR isn't just an extra layer of security, it's a necessary tool in today's threat landscape.
Couldn't have said it better. Cybercriminals love to strike when defenses are down, but SOAR ensures that your business is always protected, always watching, and always ready to respond.
Okay, Michael, let's talk about a common myth. Many SMBs think that SOAR is overkill. They hear automation and assume that it's only for big corporations with massive IT budgets. What would you say to those business owners?
I hear this all the time, but here's the reality. Cybercriminals don't care about company size. In fact, SMBs are often easier targets because they don't have the security resources that large enterprises do. For a big corporation, a cyber attack is a setback. But for an SMB, it can be a business-ending event. The cost isn't just about fixing the breach. It's about lost customers, reputational damage, and downtime that small businesses just can't afford.
That makes sense. A large enterprise can absorb the damage, but an SMB might not survive something like that. And I imagine that's because many don't have full time security teams.
You got it. Most SMBs have one or two IT professionals juggling everything, from setting up employee laptops to troubleshooting Wi-Fi. Expecting them to manually investigate and contain cyber threats 24/7 is just not realistic. That's why SOAR is a game changer. It gives SMBs the same security response capabilities as an enterprise, but without the enterprise level budget.
And I imagine that response time is everything. If an SMB has a small team, a threat could sit undetected for hours or even days, right?
Exactly. The longer it takes to respond, the worse the damage. Many cyber attacks happen after hours, on weekends, during holidays, times when SMBs don't have anyone actively monitoring their systems. With SOAR, 80 to 90% of security tasks are automated, so threats don't just sit in an inbox waiting for someone to notice. The system detects and responds instantly, preventing small incidents from becoming major breaches.
So instead of thinking about SOAR as an added expense, businesses really should see it as a way to save time and also reduce risk.
Precisely. Without SOAR, IT teams spend hours manually reviewing alerts, chasing down threats, and trying to contain attacks. That's not just a security risk, it's a productivity drain that slows down the entire business. SOAR eliminates that wasted time, allowing IT teams to focus on growth, innovation, and keeping the business running smoothly instead of constantly putting out fires.
And cyber criminals aren't working harder, they're working smarter. So SMBs need to do the same.
Yep, attackers are using automation to launch faster, more sophisticated attacks. SMBs can't afford slow, manual defenses. SOAR allows SMBs to respond to threats instantly. That instant response does come with a trade-off, though. Because SOAR acts automatically, there's always a chance that a false alert could temporarily lock a legitimate user out of their account. But that's a small inconvenience compared to the alternative. Without SOAR, a real attack could go unnoticed long enough to cause catastrophic damage. In security, speed is crucial, and a few minutes can mean the difference between stopping an attack and suffering a breach.
Let's go beyond theory. Can you walk us through a real world example where SOAR made a difference for an SMB?
Yes, but to really explain SOAR's value, we first need to look at where other security tools stop. SIEM collects security alerts and logs. It's like having a CCTV system. It records everything, but doesn't take any action. MXDR takes it further by actively monitoring alerts, applying threat intelligence, and providing expert human analysis. Next Perimeter's 24/7 SOC ensures real-time oversight, with cybersecurity analysts responding to threats around the clock.
So we have SIEM collecting data, MXDR analyzing it, and a SOC team monitoring it. I'm willing to bet you have a story that will highlight the role of SOAR in threat response.
You know I do. A mid-sized healthcare provider was wrapping up for the weekend when a receptionist received an email that looked like it came from IT support. It said her password was expiring and that she needed to log in immediately to update it. In a rush, she clicked the link, entered her credentials, and unknowingly gave an attacker full access to her Microsoft 365 account.
That is terrifying. So at that point, the attacker had complete access to her emails, her files, and anything else that was tied to the account then?
Right. And without SOAR, the attack might have gone unnoticed for hours or even days. But here's how Next Perimeter's security stack stopped it before it could escalate. Seam logged the suspicious login attempt, which was coming from an unfamiliar country. MXDR correlated that activity with threat intelligence and flagged it as a high-risk event. Our 24/7 SOC team immediately saw the alert and was ready to respond, but before they even took action, SOAR had already contained the threat.
Wait, so SOAR responded before a human even got involved then?
That's the power of automation. As soon as SOAR detected the login anomaly, it revoked the user's session, forcing the attacker out of the system. It then triggered a password reset, required additional authentication, quarantined the phishing email so no one else could fall for it, and generated a detailed incident report for the SOC team to review later.
Okay, so instead of the SOC team having to manually investigate, escalate, and take action, SOAR handled it automatically.
Yes, without SOAR, that alert would have sat in a queue while analysts reviewed it. And by the time they acted, the attacker could have moved laterally inside the network. With SOAR, the threat was neutralized in seconds. That means Next Perimeter SOC operates at peak efficiency, responding to high priority threats faster than humanly possible.
That's a huge advantage. Instead of relying on analysts to catch every threat in real time, SOAR ensures the fastest possible response, automatically containing the attack before it can spread.
And it doesn't stop there. Because SOAR integrates across Next Perimeter's entire security stack, it proactively prevents future attacks. It scans for similar phishing attempts across the company and quarantines them immediately. It flags any other accounts with suspicious activity for the SOC analysts to investigate further. And if the attack type is new, SOAR updates playbooks automatically to handle similar threats even better next time.
So SOAR doesn't just react, it learns and adapts to make cybersecurity defenses stronger over time.
That's right. SOAR plus a 24/7 SOC is the best of both worlds. SIEM detects, MXDR analyzes, the SOC oversees, and SOAR acts. That's why businesses can't afford to rely on detection alone. The faster you respond, the less damage an attacker can do.
That's the difference between a close call and a full scale disaster. And for businesses handling sensitive data like healthcare, finance, legal services, rapid response isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity.
Right, and attackers know SMBs are vulnerable. They count on them having slow response times. With Next Perimeter's SOAR-powered SOC, businesses don't just detect threats, they stop them dead in their tracks.
Okay, so I know there's more, and I want to talk about what makes Next Perimeter SOAR different from other solutions out there.
The biggest differentiator is that we just don't provide SOAR. We provide fully managed SOAR. Many SOAR solutions require businesses to build and configure their own automated workflows, which can be overwhelming. Next Perimeter delivers pre-built playbooks for common threats, easy integration with Microsoft 365, endpoint security, and other cloud-based tools. We provide our clients with expert guidance every step of the way. One of our clients, a mid-sized legal firm, told us that before using Next Perimeter SOAR, they were overwhelmed by thousands of security alerts daily. Now, with automated threat response, their IT team has cut security workload by 60%, allowing them to focus on growing their business rather than fighting cyber threats.
That makes a huge difference. And I know many businesses hesitate to deploy automation because they worry it might accidentally disrupt operations. So, how does Next Perimeter handle that?
That's where our simulation mode comes in. Before SOAR is fully activated, businesses can test their playbooks in a controlled environment to make sure they work as expected. It's like running a fire drill before an actual fire, ensuring when a real attack happens, there's no surprises.
So instead of jumping into full automation blindly, businesses can refine and perfect their security response before it goes live.
Exactly. That way, when an attack happens, SOAR doesn't just react. It responds with precision, eliminating threats while keeping the business running smoothly.
That here is the key takeaway. Automation isn't just about speed, it's about making security smarter and more effective. And with Next Perimeter SOAR, businesses don't have to choose between efficiency and control. They actually get both.
Right. Cyber threats aren't slowing down, and neither should your defenses. With the right balance of automation, expertise, and hands-on support, SMBs can achieve enterprise-level security without the complexity.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Perimeter Perspective. If you found this useful and want to keep up with the latest in cybersecurity and IT, don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform.
And if you want to see SOAR in action, download our free guide, SOAR Essentials, Automating Cybersecurity for SMBs, or visit nextperimeter.com to schedule a free consultation.
Have a question or a topic you'd like us to cover? We'd love to hear from you. Reach out on social media or email us at perspective@nextperimeter.com.
Until next time, stay secure, stay informed, and remember, the perimeter isn't just a boundary, it's your foundation for growth.
See you soon.